Welcome back, everybody. It's time for the hot tags of the week. Some different stories, some news, some reports, whatever the case may be that's gone down the past couple of days. And damn, there are a lot of them. So some of these we're going to just kind of go, pass, that kind of stuff or whatever. But we're going to try to break down whatever we can about some different things. And I'm going to start off with something that we've been hearing way too much about, and that's injury reports. Sasha Banks is out with an injury. She had an MCL injury, expected to be back in February. Paige is out with a concussion. Randy Orton, though, thankfully has denied rumors that he is going to need neck surgery. So Sasha Banks and Paige out, two of the main divas, and Randy Orton possibly returning sooner than we thought. What do you guys think about this? Who wants to tag in?
Well, as the co-host of the year, I'll go ahead and hop in as well. Randy Orton, thank God, he's a good talent. And, glad he doesn't need the neck surgery. It would have been a damn shame if he would have needed it. When it comes to Paige and Sasha Banks, I guess it makes sense now for Sasha Banks why she hasn't been on TV recently. And when it comes to knee injuries, thank God it's only a minor, like a sprain, I believe it was. If it was, because if it was torn, that's a long layoff period. And knee surgery and knee rehab is hard to recover from. So thank God it's just minor. And then with Paige, they weren't going to use her right anyway, so maybe they could use this time to figure out what they're going to do with her going forward.
Kind of agree on all those fronts.
Yeah, I actually think Sasha being away from the WWE will be better for her, just because they can't damage her. When they come back, when she comes back, maybe they've run out of options and have to push her at that point. Because seeing her just pop up now and again in shitty short matches is not doing anything for her. As far as Orton goes, I'm glad he's coming back soon because he's pretty much a capable hand to have a good WrestleMania match.
Well, he hasn't said that he's going to be coming back soon necessarily, just that he's not going to be out with another injury that was going around.
I think he comes back at the Rumble.
Really, that fast?
Mm-hmm.
That would be great if they could get him back because, we do need to get some of these guys back into the fold as soon as possible. Paige, though, that's another one that was kind of surprising for me, because I actually didn't realize that Paige hasn't been around. Kind of didn't miss her.
Neither did I, and she's actually, when AJ left, there was kind of a hole in the women's division. When Paige left, I was just kind of whatever.
Becky
She's only
stood
been
up
gone
and
for a few weeks. How could you say that?
Well, she apparently hasn't wrestled since TLC.
Yeah, it's only been a few weeks.
Still, I kind of think she's such a big enough person in the division that I would have noticed before, Becky's been doing a good enough job filling that void.
You're saying you didn't notice This Is My House is gone from the ring?
No, because I kind of just tuned that out anyway.
You're talking about after you've seen one program. All right, we're seeing Becky versus Charlotte. What's going to happen when that's done? How much longer are you going to want to watch Charlotte?
Well, I'm not saying that Paige should be out for
now.
months, Just, I'm curious why I didn't pay attention beforehand about it. I'm sure by the end of February, if Paige doesn't come back, it's going to really start, seeing obvious.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
But then again, we have people that we haven't been doing anything with for a while, and maybe that would be kind of a good thing. Like, Naomi hasn't done shit in months.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, she's good in the ring. I like her. Sean, any thoughts about these injuries?
No.
Thanks, Yoshi.
But, Randy Orton, he's not going to come back before Royal Rumble. He'll be back the one after Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he's going to come back and break his
Raw
collarbone.
after Fastlane.
That's what he's going to come back for.
I'm seeing a return table of somewhere between March and May. So
I wouldn't expect him to come back for WrestleMania even necessarily.
No, maybe not
Probably
after.
Back the Raw after, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Because that's the one thing, is if he's able to come back around WrestleMania but not around Fastlane, there's no point in really building up a match for him. Better to just have him come out afterward, be like, oh, God, we're going to start off the next thing, the next phase after WrestleMania, and not have to worry about sorting out a match for him, you know what I mean? I didn't get a chance to talk about this little thing because I wasn't able to do the Monday Night Raw post show, but Sting's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm sure you guys talked about that quite a bit, but I just kind of wanted to throw out there for anybody that wanted to
really
add extra. Oh, you didn't?
No, we talked about it, just not a lot.
Yeah, because nobody
wasn't
gave a
really much
fuck.
to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like well-deserved and congrats kind of a thing, right? Like, I don't think anybody's offended at the idea that Sting's going in this year, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
am.
if I was going to put in a musician, I would have put in Lemmy.
All Oh,
See,
yeah,
you
made
laughed.
that-
You.
You
No,
made that
not-
shit.
that
You
joke
made
on
that
Monday.
shitty joke on Monday, and like it got fucking no sold, and
It's
it was
good.
really
It's a
awkward.
good joke. Yeah, good job, Sting. You know, does anybody think that this means that he is going to be done wrestling just because he's in the Hall of Fame? I mean, it's not
No.
something that's like a necessity, but
Maybe
He's
in
definitely not
WWE.
wrestling this year, at least at WrestleMania.
yeah.
I think the door's always open down the line. I mean, he was the guy who came in as a special attraction wrestler anyway, not someone they were going to have do any type of regular schedule. So if he just does an odd match every year or so, that's fine.
I was thinking if he doesn't wrestle again in WWE, he could easily just go to the Indies and wrestle there.
No, Sting is
he's-
above wrestling in a high school
yeah.
gym ever.
Hey, you know, you never know. You never know. Some people want to just go wrestle. So
Oh, Sting's got enough money. He doesn't need to
That is
wrestle
true.
ever again.
I think if he does ever wrestle again, he's sticking with WWE forever now. I think he kind of likes
I
it.
hope so.
You know,
I just hope Ric Flair doesn't cry when he gives in his induction speech.
he will. He will.
Are you kidding? Like when that thing is done, they're gonna have to have those like. You ever watch a basketball game? And, you know, like between like rounds, they have the guys go out with the mops and the towels, and they rub the floor to get all the sweat off. They're gonna have to do that when Ric Flair's done up there to get all the tears off the stage.
They're gonna get a Zamboni. Speaking of Ric Flair, anybody else get a chance to watch the Stone Cold podcast?
Nope.
No.
I watched it.
Good. Don't waste your time. It's not good. I mean,
Okay, can we
I put it on in the background because I was just working on extra stuff, and I was like, well, I need something to kind of, you know, just make it so I'm not hearing like dead air. And it's just not interesting. Like the first 20 minutes of it or something like that. I mean, he starts talking about, yeah, obviously the first thing you ask him is like, tell us how you got started in the business, whatever. And it's this long-winded story about how Vern Gagne was like, hey, don't quit. And it just takes forever. And it's like Flair talks about Charlotte, and he seems to get more upset when he's talking about how proud he is of Charlotte than when he's talking about his dead son. It's just very weird. And there's no like revelation in it. There's no like controversy. There's nothing. It's just the blandest Stone Cold podcast I think I've heard at all. Worse than even the Page one.
Page fucking sucked.
Well, the Page one, at least it was kind of funny because like you could tell that Austin kind of wanted to direct the conversation somewhere else. And this one, it seems like they're just two buddies talking about nonsense. I definitely don't recommend it for anybody.
I
I've
think
seen
what really
enough-
hurt it is that they've done this before. They actually had Ric Flair on the podcast on an audio-only version of the Austin podcast. It was actually a far, far better interview than I imagined this was being, because it was actually kind of fun to listen to. This was before Ric Flair even had his own podcast.
They
Yeah,
actually
but
got into like deeper subjects beyond just like, yeah, you know, I used to like being Ric Flair, and I still like being
No,
Ric
they,
Flair.
they talked a lot of like party stories from the Horseman days.
See,
Yeah,
that would be fun. That's what I was
and they also
expecting.
talked like about the differences about both their upcomings in the business and comparing it, and it was just like a cool analysis of generations.
Mm-hmm.
That seems so much more interesting than this crap. Skip it if anybody's thinking about
I've heard a lot of bad Stone Cold podcasts, so I can imagine what it's like.
it. Yeah. Let's talk about this IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura was stripped of it. Now there are reports that he's going to be attending the Performance Center in February. So I guess we can really sign off on the idea that he's coming to WWE, right?
Well, yeah, definitely. And Payton said he said in an interview clearly that he's going. So awesome.
Oh, he just like flat out said it?
Mhm.
In Japanese papers, because over there they treat this very sport-like. So him as a major figure for New Japan leaving to go to the United States, it's being treated with a really interesting air of respect compared to what you would see around here. Whenever someone leaves to go to another promotion, it's always like a traitor, like the stormtrooper's going to come out and attack him for it.
But,
That Stormtrooper's so badass.
But what confuses me about this whole situation is they just had Kenny Omega pin him. You'd think he'd just drop the belt to Kenny Omega because he's still got one more booking with New Japan.
I don't
They
know
could
why
have had a
couldn't
match.
just do that on any random show. I guess the reasoning is that they couldn't find a big enough show that they wanted to put it on, because I guess their next big show is the day after Nakamura's contract runs out.
Ooh. See, you know what? Maybe they want to do though. Maybe they're in the situation that WWE finds themselves every once in a while, where they do want Kenny Omega to be the champion, but they don't want a heel champion right now. So maybe what they want to do is they want to have like a transitional person, set up another guy. They do like a tournament maybe or whatever. That guy wins, beats like Kenny Omega in the finals, and then Kenny Omega beats him down the line.
You know what I honestly think it is? I think that Nakamura and New Japan might have had a little bit of a sour falling out.
Ooh.
And I don't think they want him to have the honor of having a final match. And they wanted to just strip him, so that's what it goes down in the record books, that he went out being stripped of his title.
There actually might be something to that, because somebody in a forum had posted a couple of translations from Nakamura, and I'm not sure what publication it was from, but he said he doesn't care about the title.
It's like the translation comes out and it's like, I am going to WWE, fuck New Japan. You can just take my title, you pricks.
Like, there's really no reason they couldn't have done this. They couldn't have had him pinned on any random house show, because they do that all the time. They've had the world title transition on house shows.
There might be something behind that then, yeah. Either way, he's going to be coming to WWE. He's going to have a much higher popularity score when that happens and stuff, and he'll be fine. You know, New Japan will figure out a way to be fine too, I'm sure.
Oh, they're both going to do just gangbusters this next few years. They're both going to do great. I'm not worried for either of them.
Rumors of Daniel Bryan's release debunked by WWE. There was a report going around that he was going to be fired soon, or just let go, or something like that. WWE actually specifically talked to a couple different outlets and said no truth to the rumors at all. So he's been talking even more than normal about how he's training to come back. And we've talked about this before, about how there's a need for more people now that we have all these injured stars. Does this report make you guys think that there's more of a chance for Daniel Bryan to show up at the Royal Rumble, or more of a chance that he's going to be released down the line?
The fact that WWE addressed it publicly makes me think he's coming back soon. And maybe this whole time they've just been working us, and Daniel Bryan's been happy enough being on the sidelines. I don't know. I imagine he's chomping at the bit to get back in there, though, so I'm going to be anticipating him coming back at the Rumble, and I hope I'm not disappointed.
Would you be disappointed if he shows up and he loses?
Oh, I don't mind if he loses. At the end of the day, if Brock Lesnar's in there, there's nobody that can complain that he got eliminated. I'm like, yeah, Lesnar's in there. Everybody should get eliminated.
Even if he gets eliminated by, like, Eric Rowan?
Okay, then there's that issue, but, like, just have Lesnar eliminated, and everything will be okay.
Brock versus Bryan WrestleMania?
It doesn't even have to be that. I'm just saying, if you're going to eliminate Bryan, just make sure you do it with a guy that no one's going to argue with.
How pissed would they be if Daniel Bryan is number 30 and Roman Reigns eliminates him?
And Reigns enters number 1.
Yeah, even worse. Oh no, even worse. Roman Reigns enters at number 1. Daniel Bryan enters at number 2. They lock up. He throws him out. Waits for number 3 to come. Roman Reigns just throws number 3 out. Throws number 4 out.
Oh, you know what would be great? He does that to Daniel Bryan with ease. Then Heath Slater comes out and he starts struggling.
Heath Slater comes out at number 3 and eliminates Roman Reigns.
So they make Daniel Bryan look weaker than Heath Slater.
El Torito comes out at number 3. Eliminates Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan breaks Santino's record at the very beginning of the Rumble.
And the only way he'd be able to do that is if he throws himself out. The bell rings and he just jumps and injures himself. It's bound to happen.
Now, see, what would be better is if Rey Mysterio come out and attacked Daniel Bryan before he got into the ring.
What, so they could get booed like he did in 2015?
So he takes Daniel Bryan's spot. That'd be amazing.
I bet that's like one of Ray's closing moments, like his decision to leave the company. Oh, fuck this.
He had to have been really disappointed when he came back to the locker room, you know?
Man, the fans are going to be anticipating who's number 30. It's going to be their hero, Rey Mysterio. Oh, it's going to be so loud, and I'm going to come to everyone's rescue.
Who's that jumping out the sky? It's not Daniel Bryan. Well, fuck him. Let's take a quick thing here. I think I'm the only one who watched Tough Enough before, so we're not going to really delve too deep into this. But Gabi Castrovinci is this super hot chick from Tough Enough. She's signed to TNA. She's going to be one of their new knockouts, Raquel. I recommend people check on her Instagram out, and that's it.
She fit?
She's really hot. But she does not have like the mentality to be a wrestler from what everybody said. She doesn't really seem like she wants to do it and stuff. So
she's perfect for TNA.
Yeah, it's a good sign for TNA. She can
Tony.
fuck around for a
She was
little
perfect
bit.
for 2006 Divas.
Tony, here's the thing. He asked if she was fit, not if she was hot. So answer the question.
Yes, she is fit.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how hot is she?
It's hard to be a 10, but she's up there. She's really hot. That's like the only reason why they signed her, I'm sure.
Dude, you just know she's smoking hot.
You just know. I recommend Googling her at the very least, though. But interesting to see if that ends up happening with anything with TNA. But we know how this company's worked. We know that they don't even know what to do with their fucking world title anymore.
That's on EC3, amigo.
No, it isn't. Didn't he drop it?
No.
Yeah, he dropped it back to Matt Hardy.
Yeah,
I thought that was a pay-per-view. I thought it was going to be Matt Hardy versus EC3 for the title and Korea, right?
So after they debuted on Pop, they fucking had Matt Hardy take the belt.
It's fucking stupid and retarded.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Fuck that
actually had
company.
Tyrus turn on EC3 and join Matt Hardy.
And like, just to put this into perspective, Matt Hardy ended EC3's undefeated streak at Bound for Glory, or whatever fucking show it was, and just to lose it for several months, like vacated for several months, for EC3 to win it, for Matt Hardy to win it.
It's so...
The fuck?
Speaking of TNA, did any of you guys watch
Nope.
Mike Bennett's debut?
No.
Fucking terrible.
I don't watch TNA.
You didn't even watch it from Maria?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I checked it on with YouTube. It was fucking terrible.
He's the Miracle right now, right? That's his like.
Yeah,
gimmick.
that's the gimmick. Yeah.
Yeah. Zero interest. It's TNA. Let's talk about NXT. Last week we talked our predictions for the NXT Year-End Awards, and the winners have been released now. Overall Competitor of the Year, Finn Balor. Male Competitor of the Year, Finn Balor. Not surprised. Female Competitor of the Year, Bayley. Tag Team of the Year, Enzo and Cass. Match of the Year, Bayley versus Sasha Banks at Brooklyn. And Takeover of the Year, Brooklyn. So we all kind of agreed on a lot of these different things, and it seems like for the most part, that's what we were saying. Brooklyn gets a lot of love, Bayley gets a lot of love, Finn Balor gets a lot of love, and Enzo and Cass. I mean, I see nothing wrong with this list, really.
Yep.
I do kind of argue that maybe Bayley should have been the overall Competitor of the Year, but Finn Balor winning, not going to really complain about that, right? Anybody have any issues with this?
Kevin Owens should have won everything, including Best Pay-Per-View.
And Female Competitor of the Year?
Yeah.
Kind of disappointed London didn't win.
Why would London have won?
I don't know. Because the crowd. Just because of the crowd. And then I could have had a
Okay,
proper
if
pay-per-view.
the-
All
Is
of those crowds were good.
If it
I just
didn't
wanna-
have that crowd, though, that show would have bombed.
Oh, yeah, damn
But
fucking
I wouldn't know if it would have bombed. I thought it was still a good show when it comes to overall, just wrestling. It's just not as good compared to some of the other takeovers.
Yeah.
Okay, you take that crowd out of Bayley versus fucking Nia Jax, that show bombs.
Well, that match wasn't that good, yeah. But yeah, I mean, these people had good years, so it makes sense for them to do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw all these people move up to the main roster in 2016. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with the 2016 Year-End Awards, but we'll see that in 12 months. Let's move on to another one here. This is pretty simple. I don't think any of us really follow football except for Sean and Drew for the most part. And even if that, I don't know. American football, not the football that you do Premier Pass for. Premier
Radio.
Yeah, St. Louis Rams are going to be moving to Los Angeles. And now because of that, they're going to be building a brand new stadium, and it's going to be like the biggest stadium like that they can possibly build or whatever, which is going to make WrestleMania apparently come to LA in 2019. Now, we've noticed that there's been a switch from LA to Brooklyn for the SummerSlam pay-per-view. And I know Peyton's super into that idea because not only is it easier for him to actually reach that area, but it's something a little bit different to get the couple of shows in a row and stuff like that. But now we might be getting a trade-off with WrestleMania.
You know why this is significant for New York? Because New York is their home area, and they don't do anything special for New York anymore.
Yeah,
Until
especially
they
not with
started
MSG.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys think about LA being the spot for WrestleMania in 2019? This big new stadium that's going to be built, and the whole idea that Dallas really was supposed to be the top of the top when it came to this kind of thing. A couple of years from now, we're going to have to be building towards an even bigger thing now. Depending on what happens with Dallas, I mean, we could be in for something that tops WrestleMania 3.
They're going to need a redo because they're not having all the names they wanted to for this one. I think they're still going to be able to pack that place. But if they have an opportunity to do something even bigger, because this isn't the biggest stadium that exists in the country right now.
No.
There's much bigger stadiums they could have even gone to. But if they have one in a really nice metropolitan area, because that's usually the trade-off. The bigger stadiums are usually in, like, bumblefuck Nebraska. they're not going to do a WrestleMania there. So to have something like that in the Los Angeles area, that's perfect for them. And I know they're big on setting records, and maybe they'll fluff the number, maybe they won't. But sounds like a perfect place for WrestleMania.
So this is really far in advance. It's impossible for us to really figure it out. But just generally speaking, what do you guys think could be a main event for WrestleMania in 2019 that could sell these tickets?
Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens.
Kenneth Cade.
Versus Kennedy Cade.
You hear that, Kenneth Cade? You got to start training. You're going to be in the main event of WrestleMania in 3 years.
Baron Corbin, Roman Reigns on the moon.
So it's going to be like WrestleMania 2 where they do the different areas.
I would almost bet Roman Reigns is a safe bet to be in there. Finn Balor could be the other guy. Maybe Bray Wyatt.
I think something that could really sell, if they don't do it this year, and if by some chance they're able to hold off, that could be a good time for Undertaker to retire.
Reigns versus Cena, if it doesn't happen this year.
Or next year.
Reigns versus Lesnar. Again. Every year between now and then.
Oh, you know what they could do?
Best of 7.
The Rock versus John Cena.
I was about to say, yeah.
Lesnar versus the Moon.
You know what? I'd take Lesnar in that fight.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe. He's got a better track record. Sunny's going to be selling her Hall of Fame ring on eBay for $3,000. Just, you know.
The first thing she sold on eBay.
Yeah, elbow. I know what you're talking about. But not for $3,000.
To try and describe Sunny in 3 words.
What a shame.
Don't get excited.
There you go. There's 3 words.
It's a trap.
Ratchet
It's a trap.
oozing skank is what I've got.
Poor Sunny. There you go. The first word's bum. The second one's bum. The third one's bum.
Bullfuck?
Yeah, any thoughts on Sunny? Yeah, I didn't think so.
What a shame.
Shane McMahon has been named the vice chairman of You On Demand. Peyton was just talking recently about how he thought that Shane McMahon was going to be coming back into the fold. It's not looking very likely. What do you think, Peyton?
Okay, it doesn't look like it's likely to happen this year. Listen, what is Shane McMahon getting involved in? A video on demand service? Gee, I wonder if that could have any credible abilities to his resume for when he comes back. Look at all the things are lining up. Maybe it's not happening in 2016, but it's happening.
So let's play a little sort of point counterpoint here. What's the likelihood that this thing is going to happen before the other thing? What happens first? Shane McMahon comes back to WWE.
Is this like reverse Gawker of the egg?
Yeah.
I guess so. Shane McMahon comes back to WWE first, or CM Punk returns to WWE.
Punk returns.
CM Punk returns.
It all depends on how his first fight goes. And he could he could lose every fight following his first one. It's the first one that matters.
Well, that first opponent,
and he's just going to cry in a corner and be a little bitch about it.
one punch, and he's like, "Ow!" That hurt."
This was a terrible idea.
I don't know why you just hit me.
Wouldn't it be great if he just fucking slips, accidentally headbutts his opponent while throwing a punch, knocks him out, and he thinks he's like badass. See what I did? You see what I did?
And then he comes back to WWE and his finisher is the headbutt.
We gotta stop. There's something on my back.
Well, the first opponent for him is most likely going to be Mickey Gall. Don't know that guy, but Wago, what do you think about this? What do you think about the EA Sports UFC 2 complaints that are going on right now with CM Punk?
Okay, so as far as this guy that they found to fight CM Punk, he was found on Dana White's web series looking for a fight. The series was essentially made just to look for CM Punk's opponent. It's only got one win, no losses. But I tell you what, I don't know if the UFC's told the kid to do it or he's just done it himself, but he's already talking shit about CM Punk, so he's hyping it. Making fun of him for being a fake fighter and, wrestling's fake, usual dribble. So it'll be interesting. As far as the complaints on the video game thing, where that stems from is they gave CM Punk a score of, was it 85, 86, something like that? And it's kind of ridiculous for him to have a score that high, considering he's not even had a professional fight yet. And there's people in the top 10 that are ranked around the same score as him.
So they kind of just went, well, he's popular, let's give him a good ranking.
Yeah, so people are all pissed about that. I find it funny, but it's like, whatever. Bruce Lee never had a fight either.
Let's talk Evolve. Jason Jordan, Jihad Cable, and William Regal are going to be attending an Evolve event on January 23rd. So that's another instance where they're working with that company and doing some more stuff outside of WWE. And we've got different things with Evolve over the course of the past year. We've gotten some little bit of a relationship with New Japan. What do you guys think that the future holds for these little partnerships on the side? Is this like Evolve the new ECW, essentially?
I think a lot of to do with this is just getting their guys seasoned. It benefits for them to be able to go out to other areas of the territories, wrestle different people, different names, learn different styles. And apparently there's some talk about them partnering up with their video service, so maybe this is just a trade-off. They'll send a few guys over to them in return for something. I'm still not sure what their entire relationship is, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it evolves. Evolves?
See what you did there. Any other people want to tag in on that one? Okie dokie. Gawker's motion to dismiss Hulk Hogan's case denied. We're going to be going on more and more, I guess, when it comes to that whole lawsuit or whatever. I got really nothing to say about this. I just kind of wish it was over. But anybody else have any thoughts?
Ha!
Kennedy.
Yeah. All right. Last one here. I wasn't sure if we should really talk about this because I didn't really think that it really made that much news, but some other people are talking about it quite a bit, so what the hell, we just want to talk about it. Chris Jericho's back of the bus boys comment about the Usos was misinterpreted as a racist thing.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people were just like, oh, like, that's so racist. And he's like, oh, it means that they drink.
I knew that was going to be misinterpreted by people right away. I knew what he meant, but as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, no, you can't
You know
say
what was
that.
great? JBL had the most smug response, though. He was like, oh, I thought you guys knew about that. I thought you were hardcore enough.
And then he claimed he always was a back of the bus boy. He said that in the same tweet, so I'm picturing him being the kind of guy that's partying back there. Oh, we're the back of the bus boy.
He was the back of the bus boy. He just picks on people smaller than him when he's drunk until he gets hit by Joey fucking Styles. Yes.
But yeah, when you were watching Monday Night Raw, I mean, as soon as he says, oh, my back of the bus boys over there, I was like, ooh, this isn't going to be good. Choose different words, you know what I mean? But, of course, people are just like, that must mean he's racist, or whatever like that. It's not. They cleared it up. Stop being butthurt. You know what I mean? Well, those are all the hot tags that I had written down. I don't think we missed a damn thing, but if we did, leave a comment below. Tell us what we did miss that you want us to talk about. We'll try to leave a comment in response to that or whatever. Anything else that anybody wants to throw out there before we take a break?
Raw.
All right, guys. We clearly need a break, so we are going to come back with a rest hold. After that, we're going to go into our main event, Belt or Bury Callisto. So stay tuned. Click on part 3. Rest hold's coming up next.